Hi, everyone. We are coming down the home stretch. We are in the 14th week of the spring 2021 semester. And now we're starting to get into some diversity in our authors. I know that probably all semester you've been wondering where's the diversity going to come in. Now we're here. And what makes the ability to do diversity in British literature possible is that imperialism that we talked about at the end of the Victorian period. Yes, the British went in and they conquered these other lands and they stripped them of their resources and enslaved their people and things like that. But uh, today, what that means is we have a very diverse group of people that can qualify as British literature authors. And so this week, our author is going to be a man from India. His name is Salman Rushdie. He's still alive. Now he's very old, but he's still alive. So now we're starting to get into some living authors too. In fact, we've got three authors left, and two of them are still alive, and one of them is actually quite young. So we're starting to you're starting to see different types of authors than what we've read in the past. So for this particular author, it's Salman Rushdie. He's from India. Most people that know him, if they know him at all, knows him for a book called The Satanic Verses. And the Muslim community has put a price on his head for that because in the Satanic Verses, he kind of uh, pokes fun a little bit at the Prophet Muhammad. And of course, if you do that and you get published and you become as famous as Salman Rushdie did, there is a price put on your head, and they call it a fatwa. Now, don't go trying to collect any of that money by finding Rushdie and killing him. It's only $1 million, and the people that offer that fatwa are probably long dead, so you would never collect anyway. But that's what a lot of people know him for is for the Satanic Verses. What I've got you doing here, I've got you reading, first of all, his story Imaginary Homelands. It's actually an excerpt from Imaginary Homelands. It's an essay that he wrote. It's not a story, it's an essay. And in this essay, he says, hey, you know, now that British and Indian, and by Indian we mean Indian, not American Indian, now that British and Indian have combined, what does it mean to be from India? What does it mean to be from Britain? Right? Here, and he talks about some of the paradoxes, like, for example, Muslims eating pork, right? Muslims are not supposed to eat pork, but, with the combining and the melting together of two different uh, types of culture, there are changes. So he talks about that. He also talks in there about how when he was a kid in India, he saw England and London on TV and it looked beautiful. Then he got to London and he realized that's just like any other city. So there's that. But really, the whole national identity thing, because about a year after Rushdie was born, India managed to get its independence from England and become a sovereign nation again. And if you'll remember from the imperialism part, India was a collection of tribes more than anything else. Now India has a single national identity, and you may know that India is now becoming an international economic powerhouse because it is such a large country. So uh, so he talks about what does it mean to be a British author? What does it mean to be an Indian author? What does it mean to be a Muslim author or a Christian author or all these other things? And so, to supplement that and make it more relevant to you, I have a video in here called What is an American? And in our discussion board question, we'll ask if a space alien were to come down to Earth, land in America, and ask you to tell these creatures from another planet what an American is, how in the world would you answer that question? I'd like for you to watch that video before you go to the discussion board to answer them. So, so you got the national identity thing, and how does one identify? Then the other part you got from Rushdie is a very entertaining story called The Prophet's Hair, where a vial with a hair that comes from the Prophet Muhammad and has magical qualities gets stolen from its little shrine, and while it's out of the shrine, it causes all kinds of chaos for the people that actually possess that hair. So there's a magical, mystical element to it, which has its roots in Indian folklore. But, it's written in the English language and it's told from the viewpoint of a British subject, or at least a guy who was a British subject for a year. So, how does he combine the English language and the English ways of storytelling with the Indian methods of storytelling and the Indian folklore put those two things together and create this story, The Prophet's Hair, which I think a lot of you are going to like an awful lot. So this week we've got Salman Rushdie, and I really think that you're going to enjoy reading him, and I think that you're going to enjoy participating in the discussion board, trying to figure out what in the world is an American.